Yes, George! Oh
my God! That camera.
I am the king and will not be.
What's up guys, it's Hasman12. Welcome to the first episode of my 2019-20 Sunday League season, and I'm really treating you with today's footage. Now I'm currently sitting on 3 direct goal involvements from 3 games, from the games you're about to see in this video, which you know is good enough, but if you watch this entire video you'll see that my expected goal involvement is verging on #United trial callbacks. Now moving into our first game this season, and I was so excited to be finally playing footy again. And it's been about 5 to 6 months since we've all played together in a competitive game, so surely it's going to take some time for us all to gel back together. And the surprises continue when you realise it is in fact my brother Jack who has nodded at home. I say nodded, it came off his shoulder. And if you watched last year's season, you'll remember that Jack, my brother, he struggled to score with his foot and his head. Clearly he can only score with his shoulder, but they all count. And obviously I'm happy that he's finally got his goal, but we're going to cut the footage there before we capture where he airs my high five.
Do I get the assist on that one? I'll take the assist.
And you might notice a few new faces in the team from last season if you watched it last season. A couple of players left in the summer from university or other commitments, and then we got a few young players in from the year below who are actually quite good. They slotted in the team very, very nicely. So yeah, hopefully you'll learn the names as the season progresses. I actually had a very good start to this game. Had a few nice little take-ons here and there, nice touches, keeping the ball moving when needed, and helping out defensively for emergencies only, of course.
I didn't check.
So confidence was definitely flowing at this point, I think it's fair to say. So much so that after a cynical Fernandinho take yellow from the opposition, I decided to take the free kick and initiate some passing round the back. Never a good idea in Sunday League. Made up for it with this though. Blatant dive. Book him ref. Don't want to see that in the English game. No, but seriously, I am joking. I hope he's okay. He did get up okay, so he survived. They then brought a goal back with a well-taken volley, meaning Charlie and his bright white boots needed to show up in this game, despite already getting an assist. I actually forgot about that. So let's say he showed up for the second time, got a nice cross in for Rory to guide it into the top left corner. He got his positioning right in between the 2 centre-backs. Match of the day analysis, where are you? And you might feel the quality has been raised a little too high in this half, so I've got a few clips here to make sure we don't get too carried away with ourselves. Jacob thinking no one would notice him taking the ball out of play for no explainable reason.
Come on! It's gone off! Lino's giving it!
White line.
Our new left back with probably the least coordinated Nutmeg I think you're ever going to see.
How many feet does he have?
Actually, speaking of nutmegs.
Oh, Harry, it's on camera.
We then have Jacob failing a nutmeg and falling on the floor for, again, no explainable reason. And to finish it off, we have an underhit free kick from the opposition, finished off with a very iconic Sunday League quote. Also forgot to mention we were actually playing a viewer. He messaged me after the game saying that we played him. Number 15, I think his name's Alex. A decent player. There he is standing next to Tom, who's drawn the classic scenario of playing their first game in the team, and he's got spare clothes so big they can fit the tree behind him. But anyway, the reason I actually brought Alex up is because he had the audacity to pull off this against our best player, Josh. Josh responded to it well though.
I am the king and will not be.
Josh, mate, that's naughty. Absolute manners.
Not sure we will actually get a better goal than that this season. Just struck so sweetly into the top corner. Perfect connection. Although I get the feeling Duffy was gutted there was no follow-up rebound goal, considering he didn't actually join in the celebrations.
Oi, celebrate with the team, spoil sport.
Oi, the rebound would have been yours, mate, don't worry.
Now I mentioned it at the start of the video, and it was at this point in the match where my expected goal involvement was really getting some stat padding in this game. Exhibit A, we have a Mesut Ozil-esque nutmeg leave. Pretty sure that's a successful take on. But unfortunately the defender managed to read Josh's fake, so nothing really materialised from that. But a side note, Josh is actually someone I really just love playing with. I feel like we have a good connection on the pitch. We know where each other are, and yeah, it's just fun playing with him. Also, it's much appreciated when he scores bangers for the video content. That's always nice. I then get halved and win myself a free kick. And with all this free kick practice recently, I was very excited to line this one up. And actually my goalkeeping friend, but yeah, my goalkeeping friend Zach, who's actually been in a few videos before, he actually told me some advice. When the ball bounces just before it hits the goal, if it's going in the bottom corner, that's actually harder to save than if the free kick was going in the top corner. Taking that advice, that's what I tried to do. Aiming for the bottom left corner with a good bit of power, having that bounce just before, and it clearly actually worked because the keeper panicked, and then Jacob was there with an open goal, and he misses, robbing me of another potential assist. It's fantastic, and yes, we will be showing a replay of that, so Jacob learns his lesson, not to miss them again. And as Charlie was off the field at this time, I was on set pieces, so I got to take the corner thinking, you know, maybe I could get an assist here. Cross it in, James just misses. Yeah, 2 perfect deliveries right into the corner of uncertainty. Still, the dinner isn't getting finished. Like here, Josh slides in Duffy, and he's one of those players in your team that you just would love to get a goal.
Got a bit! Should have nailed that.
Hey, next time.
Yeah, it's just quite frustrating to watch the amount of chances that we miss in this game. It was always the final pass or the final shot that always let us down. But this was consistent throughout the entire team. It seemed impossible for anyone to put the ball into the back of the net. Seriously, you name the type of chance, we missed it in this game. Well, I suppose it's all still good signs for the upcoming season. You know, we're still creating all the chances, we just can't finish them. I suppose that's sort of what Preseason is about, I guess. But as I said, still trying to finish. Duffy again, teasing with the crowd. And then the competition for season's best nutmeg was definitely hotting up. Charlie puts in another delightful corner onto Jack's head, who returns to his phenomenal form last season with 0% header success rate. Should have gone with the shoulder Jack, and he knows it. So then matters were taken into my own hands.
Harry, keep him going, mate.
Go on, Harry, drive.
Harry, that is superb. Nice.
Not going to lie, that's probably one of my favourite assists ever. Just the whole build-up and everything. I feel like it typifies my whole game. Hopefully that's fair enough. And as we get the third angle replay of that one, I think a special mention does go to Jacob. He makes it look really, really easy, and it's certainly far from it. Couldn't really say the same about this finish from James though.
Finish it, James. Oh, unlucky.
I get one shot a game.
That was a shot, was it?
That's the rule.
James, it's the white thing.
Just like to remind you, he was our top scorer last season. Don't ask how. Now we move into our second pre-season game of this episode, and this was actually a midweek fixture. It's a bit strange, but I actually quite enjoyed it. Pretty much a Champions League fixture, if you want to call it that. Oh wait, the game wasn't on camera. Oh wait, I scored 2 goals. As it was during the week, William, my little brother, who does a brilliant job filming these games, midweek he couldn't really do because he was at school. So this game was missed, unfortunately, and we filmed every single game last season. I scored a grand total of 0 goals. The first game we missed, I scored 2 of the best goals probably I'm going to score this whole season. So we have the next best thing. I went out the very next morning in my full kit and everything to recreate those exact 2 goals because I couldn't live with the fact we have 0 footage of 2 brilliant goals I scored. Sounds quite sad when I say it out loud. Anyway, the first was a perfectly weighted chip over the keeper, stranded. The second was a 40-yard left-footed first-time top corner goal. That actually happened in the game and I have no footage of it. I can't believe that. Just do me a favour and imagine there are actually defenders dotted around the pitch in this video, questioning if they are in fact in a Champions League game with the quality of goals on show. Yeah, so there are the 2 goals I scored. Probably best 2 goals I'm going to score this whole season. Maybe the only 2 goals I'm going to score this season. But yeah, they both did happen, I promise. Just very frustrating. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just shouldn't film the games. And then I'll say I scored a bicycle kick from the halfway line. And what better to start the final game with a crunching take yellow from our new centre-back, Joel. No complaints whatsoever, just gets up like, yep, fair enough. So as you can imagine, I really wanted to get on the end of this move. I worked well with Jacob on the left-hand side. It got into a crossing position. I really wanted to get on the end of this pullback. I was shouting for it, but the chance was buried anyway with pure venom. This is actually our new home pitch this season, I forgot to mention, and it's actually one of the nicest Sunday League pitches I've ever seen. So the conquest just saw the first goal on a new home pitch was on, and Charlie actually came closest early on at the wrong end before Lee almost outdoes him and exquisitely slices it into the bottom corner. But of course the missed chances continue, but this time it's actually Jacob who's probably one of the team's best finishers in my opinion. He puts it just wide, although again my Wan Matter pullback was on. And here one of the new players, George, is on the ball, and I've actually found in training that he's actually a very good player, very difficult to tackle. He's pretty much an exact replica of Jacob, who's our other winger, who sets up Nick here, and you can see I'm getting a little frustrated with the amount of chances that are just being missed. Because I know what will happen in Sunday League, it happens all the time. We'll miss loads of chances, and then 2 minutes later they'll come up the other end and punish us. Fortunately this time, Joff is there with a quality save down low to his right hand side. But then as Cowley decided to join the party of miss of the season. But don't worry, despite being on the floor, Joff definitely had it covered. Just like my brother Jack here, who got sent to the shops as far as I think I've ever seen him go. I'm actually surprised that it's taken just 3 games for us to get a dog on the pitch incident.
Dog's offside.
Really trying to take matters into my hands again with the half-hearted ball slicing through the back line, which George actually almost gets on the end of. But this is what I mean. My expected goal involvement is rapidly increasing. Try to find Jacob with a nice over-the-top through ball with a nice little bit of backspin. But the defender makes a beeline straight for Jacob. The ref then decides to get in the way of my left-footed volley to prevent me coming away with 2 worldies in 2 games. I looked closely at all the camera angles and concluded not only would the ball have ended up in the top left corner, but the ref actually moves in front of me as I'm lining up for the shot. What are you doing? After huge shouts of if in doubt, Lee gets it out and stuck up in the trees. And despite a very valiant effort from our linesman, the ball is lost forever. I genuinely believe you wouldn't be able to tell these are pre-season games unless I told you. As throughout the whole season, all the Sunday League teams follow this unwritten code of conduct, and that is the man or the ball gets past you, but never both. It's actually becoming a joke how we hadn't scored 1 goal in the first half. We can't even blame our formation change. And before we move into the second half, I want you guys to try and decide in the comments which player you think I play most like in the Premier League. Because I always used to say Kante, I'm not actually sure anymore. I like to make stuff happen, keep the ball alive, high up the pitch, and for sure love a good challenge and a good old scrap sometimes. I also think I actually have a good shot on me, when I get the chance to, of course. But yeah, if you have a player in mind that plays like that, please let me know in the comments. I'll actually be genuinely interested in who you come up with. Also, just trying to work out if we have accidentally employed Edison in goal for this game.
What's he doing there? Sorry, Edison.
Nope. Definitely Joff. So you're telling me Guardiola isn't having an influence on English football? And I don't think we will ever have a better start to the second half, content-wise, than what you're about to see. James stays down in despair for a good half an hour there. I can't really blame him. And it gets even better when we switch to the GoPro angle. But at least for James, Sam joins the party, chips in with a miss of his own, before Jamal decides to add his to the collection. Charlie then pays the price for trying a step over in bright white boots. Never a good idea.
Come back, Manny!
Jacob slightly overhits a cross that eventually falls to Sam. He lays it off to Nick, firing at bottom corner, and it forces the keeper into a very good stop. And actually, if we look at the GoPro angle, the other angle didn't really do it justice, but the save actually from the keeper is a really good one. He couldn't see it until the last second. But again, I was free on the edge of the box for the cutback. again, you're trying to tell me Guardiola isn't having an influence on English football. What have we got to say about that then? Look at that beautiful one-touch football ending with a perfectly weighted assist from Jacob. Excellent finish by Jamal, who I actually think is one of the best players in our team. Also think you should appreciate the fact that I won the ball back for the team to start the move. Not that anyone asked. Then after some very confident last-ditch defending from me in our own box, blocking the shot, we then go 2-0 up after, again, some brilliant play by Jamal and a good pass from Jack.
Not off.
Not off.
Oh wait, no. Apparently that is offside.
I
don't really have anything else to say about that. As you can see, we were still trying to question it on the pitch, asking the ref, but he turned him, so how does that work? How can that be offside if he came back and then had to go again? But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about that decision, as we are all about free speech in the Hasman12 comment section. If you say offside, you're getting reported. When we pause it here, when I'm actually looking up to find the pass I want, you can see Jacob on the left wing with his arm up. That is probably the best option at the time. But no, as we play it on, somehow that scenario just depletes, and Jacob actually runs backwards, and now I've lost the ball.
Harry Scratch!
Then we actually have probably my best piece of play in the whole game, flicking it over the defender's trailing leg over the top. But again, somehow nothing really comes of it after Jacob's shot is blocked. Another over-the-top through ball from me, which has the right amount of backspin just to hold up for Sam. The keeper just claims it though, but hang on, hang on, I'm sorry. He is definitely outside of the box. Although I can't really give the ref any grief whatsoever. He got an absolutely filthy nutmeg on Jacob.
No pressure.
But something seems to be wrong this second half. We are desperately lacking no-nonsense tackle. Had a few more nice touches here and there, but I think overall I had one of those almost games, and it was sort of going for me, but also sort of not. Didn't have a terrible game. It's just my through balls weren't quite really working, but maybe on another day when I have a bit more chemistry with all the new players, knowing when they should run and when I release the ball, etc. But yeah, I think I spent more time running around winning challenges than actually getting on the ball. And if you want to see some more content from these games, I put a few clips that didn't quite make it into the main highlights right at the end of this video, so just keep watching if you want to see them. But yeah, that is it, ending pre-season on 2 goals and 1 assist from 3 games, which is actually quite good. I'm happy with that. Unfortunately, the 2 goals weren't on camera, but doesn't matter how you score them. Please leave a like if you did enjoy this video, as they do take a lot of effort to film, edit, and produce, so any support is much appreciated, but I just love bringing them to you. So be sure to keep an eye out from the second episode of the Sunday League series, where we'll start delving into our actual league starting. Our game is actually in a couple of days at the time of filming this, so yeah, very excited for the league season. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you in a bit.
Oh, unlucky! Got it!
I'll get one more, David.
Come on, David. Win it back! Yes!
All of a sudden he's taken over again.